This is Another World, number 4,717, tape Wednesday, January the 19th, air playback Wednesday, January the 26th, 1980. Three.
Well, I'm certainly grateful that you've chosen Elena to administer the trust. In case, well, if you should have to...
No, please, you can say it in case I should have to go to jail, right? No, with Reuben by my side, I hope that will not happen. So don't be worried about me. And Maggie will certainly be provided for.
Well, that's just it, Louis. I am worried.
Candles weren't that dim in that restaurant. I mean, my feelings about you.
What feelings?
Feelings. You know, feelings like falling in love feelings.
Listen, Louis going back to Washington very soon. And that means we'll have the penthouse all to ourselves again.
You'd like that, too?
I'd love that. You know, I think you and I could be very, very good for each other. That's right, Jamie. Miss Gallon had in mind a quiet little dinner here at the Bayview Towers tonight.
Well, a quiet little dinner sounds great, Julie. But, I hope you'll be joining us.
Well, I'm not sure if I'll be joining you. Yes, I will be joining you. I think Miss Gallon had in mind an evening of old and new friendships.
Not bad. You're learning, Julia.
Well, tell Miss Gallant that I'd be happy to join her and you at tonight. Okay, what time?
What time?
Yeah.
The cocktail hour, say around 6-ish.
6-ish.
Yes.
All right, Julia, 6-ish would be great. Okay?
Okay.
And tell Miss Gallant that I'm looking forward to seeing her.
Okay, fine. Bye-bye. Well, it's all set, and he told me to tell you that he's looking forward to seeing you again.
Well. Courtesy and manners in a fellow writer. Well, wonders never cease.
Well, I think it's more than that. I think Jamie's really a very sweet man.
Yes, he seems to be. I like James Frame. He takes my work seriously. That means a great deal to me. Now, Julia, we really must get a copy of his novel so I can skim through it before this evening.
Oh, I could do that right now if you want.
Good.
Oh, good.
While you're gone, I will go over these papers and get them ready for retyping.
Okay, fine. I think I'll stop by the house and get my own hardcover copy. It's got a great picture of Jamie on the jacket.
Well, I hope it does him justice. I find Mr. Frame to be quite a handsome young man.
Oh?
Yes, Julia, do you know how old he is?
Well, no, I think he's probably...
Well, never mind. It doesn't matter. He's old enough.
And the grand tour ends here. Now this is your mother's office. Oh, what do you think?
It's nice. Real nice, Mom.
Well, you have to imagine it with all the furnishings and finishing touches.
And then it'll be even nicer, I'm sure.
Of course, you know, this isn't all of the property. I mean, besides the main bakery, there's also an empty space out there that fronts on the street.
Yes, and RJ, I've been meaning to ask you what you might think about us opening a small restaurant out there.
Well, it's your property, Mom.
Well, yes, honey, I know that, but you have quite an interest in it. And I'd love to hear any ideas you had.
I mean, you could always try them out on me. I'll make a few sketches, we'll see if they work.
Well, I will if I have any ideas. I'm just fresh out of them right now.
Well, that's okay. I just wanted you to feel comfortable, RJ. Henrietta's Famous Pies is a part of Corey Publishing, but I still like to think of it as a family business, and you're a big part of that family, RJ.
Where does that door go?
Oh, that's another suite of offices as soon as it's finished.
And one of those offices is already reserved. As soon as you're finished school, we're going to put your name on the door of that office. Mr. R.J. Morgan.
Hey, how about that? Sounds like a pretty good offer to me. Now, if I'm the judge of these things, I'd say there's quite a future in your mother's business.
Mom, would you mind if I took another look around?
Oh, no, honey. It's okay. Go on.
Well, it's very polite, very patient, very low-key. And you're very worried, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
This part of Another World is brought to you by the first powder detergent with a full-strength fabric softener built right in. Bold 3. Cleans, softens, controls static. Bold 3.
What are you smiling at?
You. I love the way you do that, really. It's, taking the butter, putting it on the plate very neatly, breaking the bread in half, spreading it nicely, and taking little bites. You're so meticulous, Cass.
I believe in taking care of the little things in life.
So I noticed.
You see, if you take care of the little things in life, the bigger things take care of themselves.
I noticed that, too. You, weren't surprised about last night, were you? You knew it was bound to happen.
Well, let's just say I always thought you and I were, well, for lack of a better word, inevitable. I just didn't know when, and I didn't know how.
Well, Louis, going to Washington certainly provided the when. I think both you and I had a hand in the how, don't you think?
So, you aren't surprised that it happened either?
Actually, I am surprised. I don't know, I was so caught up in my misplaced feelings for Sandy. Caught up in loving him and wanting to make him happy that I denied my feelings for you. I simply couldn't believe that we were ever going to be lovers.
And now?
And now seeing is believing. Oh, Cass, I feel so good. Oh, I feel better than I have in such a long time. You know, looking back, it felt like I was sailing in a storm without a harbor. Then all of a sudden, the clouds parted. The sun came out. Now there's nothing but calm water and you and me.
There are still some small craft warnings, Cecile. For instance, we're going to have to keep this our little secret for a while.
You ashamed?
No, of course not. I'm thinking of you and your reputation.
Oh, right, Cass. You're not thinking about you and yours. I mean, my goodness, what would Matt Corey say if he knew about
Cecile, you're facing a custody battle. Now, you don't want to give Sandy any ammunition that might help him take Maggie away from you, do
Yes,
you?
of course. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. Well, once this case is decided, and I have Maggie, and everything that comes with her,
Everything?
our love. The simple, precious love that only a child can bring. Once this is all over and done with, then I can be free to do as I please.
I just hope this newfound freedom doesn't mean that you'll be leaving Bay City.
Well, you could come with me. You know, with the stipend that I'll receive from Louis for taking care of his granddaughter, you would never have to worry about counting pennies again, or punching clocks, or doing any of those horrible mundane things. Oh, yes, we could do what we wanted to do when we wanted to do it.
It would be a wonderful dream.
It doesn't have to be just a dream.
Maybe not. But that calm water you mentioned, I see a certain dark cloud on the horizon, and I'm going to have to face it sooner or later.
What do you mean? What's the matter? You look so serious. What are you talking about? Oh, that must be Louis. Look at me. Oh.
We didn't look at you. Look at both of us.
Oh, Cass,
Yes, of course, Cecile. If it's that important that they woke you up this early, then
Right.
I'll look into it right away today.
Fine, thank you very much. Yes. Hello,
darling.
How are you? I didn't expect you back this soon. How was your trip, the flight, Washington, everything go well?
Well, I think everything went very well. Thank you very much to Mr. Marino.
Oh, Mr. Reuben, I'm sorry. I have so much to thank you for being so good to my father. You were good to my father, weren't you?
Well, I used whatever skills I had. I hope they were of some use.
Oh, no. He's much too modest. This man is an absolute genius when it comes to the law.
I am a genius only when I win, Louis.
And did you win? Have they stopped the extradition proceedings?
I think we scored a few points with the American government. I'm not sure that the French will sway so easily.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Mr. Marino and I will have to go back to Washington so that we can bring the case to the French embassy.
Where Reuben will triumph once again.
Your daughter is much too kind, Louis.
No, I'm not kind. You are. You're brilliant and successful. All I am is grateful. Thank you.
Well, now, it is I who am grateful to you.
I hope that you'll be equally as helpful to me in the custody case.
I am at your service, Cecile.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I really have to be getting to the office.
Yes, of course, Cass. I'm sorry to delay you. Cass was just wonderful to me this morning. He has a favor to do for me.
Yes, I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Louis, it's nice to have you back.
Yes.
Reuben?
Yes.
Right.
See you.
Well, I really should get dressed if I'm going to spend all day playing with my baby.
You've already done enough, and you packed Corey's lunch and you sent him off to school.
That's because I wanted to. Now, please sit down. Larry's day off today, so you guys have nothing to do except enjoy yourselves.
Well, you don't have to twist my arm, baby sister.
Blaine, you must have plenty to do.
No, I don't. Not really, not till Sandy gets here.
Sandy coming over this morning?
Yeah. I called him earlier and asked him to come over because I want a chance to talk before we go to work.
Is this some kind of serious talk? Because if it is, Larry and I could just bundle up Gina and take her for a stroll.
No. I don't want you to have to do that.
Wait, I think that you need a little privacy around here once in a while.
Well, I have to admit that would be nice. I guess that's why I've been thinking of taking a little apartment of my own.
No, Blaine, we love having you here with us.
It'll just be for a little while until Sandy and I get married.
Well, if it's going to be for that short of time, why move twice? It's not that much fun living alone, you know.
Besides, Blaine, we need you here with us. You can see how much we depend on you.
Clarice, that's very sweet, but I really don't think I've been that much help to you.
But you have.
No, I mean, I work all day, every day. The most I've done is clear a few dishes, pack a few lunches, and babysit a few nights.
Well, you do babysit for free, and that does help the weekly budget.
You know I love helping your weekly budget, but I think it's probably time for me to live alone.
Well, I understand that. There's something else, too. You've still been having nightmares from all that stuff that happened when Almaretta was here. I just don't think it's a good idea for you to be alone for too long right now.
I love you for wanting to protect me. But you can't protect me forever. Nobody can. That's why I think it's time for me to go out, live on my own, grow up, face the world.
I'll get it.
Does this mean I have to stop calling you baby sister now?
Oh, no, don't you ever stop. Don't you dare.
Well, surprise, surprise.
I guess you're expecting me, huh?
Yeah, we were. Fun, Sandy.
Thanks, Clarice.
Hey, Larry. Hey, Sandy. Listen, I'd love to hang around and talk to you, but I got to go out and catch that mile I didn't pick up yesterday.
Honey,
Okay.
don't forget to put on your book hat.
All right, I got it. Oh, and you don't forget to check on Jean.
Well, honey, Jean's sleeping. I don't know. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I better make sure she's all covered up good.
All right. Okay, I'll see you.
Bye, sweetie.
So long, Larry.
Bye-bye, Larry. Well, there's coffee here in case you want some, and I'm going to be in Jean's room, and I'm going to be there for a while. Okay. Thank you. I'll get you coffee.
Yeah, 86 on the coffee. Come here.
Have you noticed how long and cold the nights have gotten since you moved in here?
Yes, I have. But Sandy,
Yeah, I know. I know. It's all for the best, right? Okay, fine. Said you wanted to talk? Great. We'll talk.
Thank you. There's been something on my mind since last night, and I was just wondering, if it's bothering you too.
What?
We don't have a lot of money, and that's okay. It's never been important to us, right?
Honey, you know it hasn't.
But even though we don't have a lot of money, we're very lucky. We have good jobs that we love. And we earn enough money to buy the things we need.
Yeah, that's true.
Sandy, the thought of having money, a lot of money, scares me a little bit. I think, well, I really hate to think that it might change us, both of us.
Maybe I hate to think so too, but I don't think we have to worry about coming into a lot of money for a long time, do you?
If you gain custody of Maggie, that's just what's going to happen.
Well, of course, you're right. You know, I've been so busy worrying about how Cecile might act if she wins custody of Maggie, I never even considered how we would handle it if I should win. Boy, there's a lot of interest from the money that Louie's giving to Maggie. I mean, that's what, $1 million a year, every year.
Yeah. I mean, I like money, and I like to spend it just as much as the next guy does, but I sort of wonder that if in the long run that kind of money might destroy us.
I think you're right, honey.
Mm.
You know, I think maybe the best thing to do is just to let the interest become part of Maggie's inheritance. I mean, hey, we want to raise a normal kid, right? Not a rich kid.
That's right. And I really hate the idea, the whole thought of us living off of Maggie's money. You feel the same way, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Cass,
Hello, Felicia.
what a lovely way to start the day.
Oh, you look fabulous. But you must get bored hearing that all the time.
What, have you lost your mind? How would you like some coffee or maybe some breakfast?
No, thanks. I just stopped down on my way to work. I can't stay too long.
Oh, well, we'll see about that. Sit.
Thank you.
I just sent Julia on a little errand, so I'm dying for some company.
Will that be all, Miss Gallant?
Oh, Gil, yes, you could pour me some more coffee and some for Mr. Winthrop, in case he changes his mind.
I'm glad to hear that Julia is doing all right.
Oh, yes, she is. I've sent her out to get a copy of Jamie Frame's novel.
Oh, A View of the Bay.
Yes. He's coming to dinner this evening. I thought the least I could do is read his book.
That doesn't leave you much time, does it?
Well, I'm an excellent skimmer. And as long as the book isn't too serious. It isn't, is it?
I'm afraid it is, Felicia.
Oh, dear. Jamie is terribly good looking. Well, I hope he's not as serious as his fiction.
Every author can't be as delightful as Felicia Gallant.
Yes, that's true, isn't it? You know, I was once very serious. Until I got tired of rejection slips. Then I decided to become delightful and please all of my readers.
And that you've done. So well, in fact, that I find it hard to believe that any publisher would ever reject you. I know I never would.
Wouldn't you?
No. Felicia, I've been giving a great deal of thought to our discussion yesterday about your need for a publisher, the right sort of publisher.
Oh, darling, don't mind Gil. You can say whatever you like in front of him.
Yes, well, I didn't intend to get into a business discussion. I really came by to see you, just for the pleasure of seeing you, nothing more.
Oh, I like the way you put that. And, before you say another word, I accept.
You accept what?
Well, your dinner invitation. I mean, that is what you wanted to ask me, isn't it?
Well, as a matter of fact.
We'll have to keep the date open, just until I finish Lust in the Kremlin. Right now, I'm approaching the climax.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Where the Russians discover that Sonia might want to defect. Well, you'll have to read it.
Oh, I can hardly wait.
I could tell you one wonderful scene, though.
Please do.
Yes, it's about Sonia, the heroine, of course.
Of course.
Well, she secretly seduces one of the agents of KGB. That's the Russian secret police. And, of course, her American lover finds out. Well, yes, you will read it.
I feel in some ways that I already have.
Now, don't be clever. At this hour, I am only in the mood for attention and flattery.
What do you mean, at this hour?
You're right. Any hour.
Oh, Felicia, as much as I'd love to stay, I really better get going.
I know. Darling, you have to get back to the office. Well, then you must go. And I have work of my own to do.
I'll call you later in the week about dinner, all right?
Wonderful. I will be ready for anything except Russian cuisine.
How about hot dogs?
Oh, with mustard?
Hot mustard.
Oh, heavenly. All right.
See you later.
Yes, bye-bye. Tell me, Gil, what do you think of Mr. Winthrop?
I think the guy's on the make.
Who isn't?
I mean, he's on the make in a big way.
Yes, you may be right.
I know I am. He's after you, not just your books. I think he wants you to fall in love with him.
Well, in that case, he's in for a severe disappointment. I fell in love once with Louis St. George, and I don't plan to make that mistake again. Ever.
Oh, don't get up, gentlemen. I'm on my way to see my daughter.
What a pity that you can't have her here with you all the time.
Yes, well, that is a pity. As much as I would love Maggie and the nurse here with me, it's just impossible. Madalena's has so much more room, and, of course, it's much more peaceful there and all.
Of course.
Reuben, you know me well enough by now to know how much I'm counting on you to help me maintain custody of Maggie.
Yes, I do know you very well. I will do my best, which I hope will be good enough.
Good. But what if Elena, my own mother, decides to testify against me?
In that case, Cecile, I advise you to be on your very, very best behavior until the custody hearing is over, and be a very good girl.
What do you mean by that?
I think you know what I mean by that.
Reuben, I can assure you, I am still too crushed by what happened with me and Sandy for there to be any room in my life for anyone else.
If that is true, you have nothing to fear. And in the meantime, just to be doubly safe, don't wear your mink in court.
Such a brilliant man. He's always thinking, and you're such a dear. And you'll be even dearer to me if you can keep this man out of jail.
I will remember that.
Well, I mustn't keep my darling Maggie waiting. Is there a message I can give her from her grandfather?
Oh, bien sûr. Listen, you must tell her that I love her absolutely insanely and madly, but not half as much as I love you, okay?
Yes.
Bye-bye. A bientôt, darling.
I will say one thing for your daughter. She certainly is attractive.
Yes.
I think that I may just ask her and Felicia Gallant to appear on your behalf in the French embassy in Washington next week.
Felicia and Cecile in the same room. No, I'm not so sure about that, Reuben. I don't think that these two women should ever meet, huh?
No, don't be too hard on your daughter. She's going through a great deal right now.
Well, aren't we all? Tell me something. What do you think are Cecile's chances of gaining custody of Maggie, huh?
Excellent. In fact, I see no problems at all.
Very good.
Stay tuned for the next part of Another World. And now, the next part of Another World.
Andy, you just missed Cecile. I didn't come here to see Cecile, Louis. As a matter of fact, I called Elena's, and Maggie's nurse told me that Cecile was going over there, so I waited downstairs until I saw her leave.
Well, then, obviously, you want to talk with me, is that right?
Yes, I do, if you'll let me come in.
Yes, please. As you can see, I am not alone. I am with my attorney, Monsieur Reuben Marino.
Oh, that's quite all right. I have nothing to say that can't be said in front of Mr. Marino.
Very well. Reuben, I think it's time that you met this young man. This is Cecile's husband, Sandy Corey, Reuben Marino, my attorney.
Yes, we met in Elena's office last week.
Yes, you were with Blaine Ewing.
That's right. Blaine and I plan to be married as soon as my divorce from Cecile is final.
Louis, you must have mixed feelings about this young man.
No. No, as a matter of fact, I don't, not at all. I expressed my gratitude to him last week for saving my life and for saving Cecile's. And you know something? I believe in putting the past behind us. Recriminations and regrets never really actually serve us. Don't you agree, Sandy?
Well, I don't know, Louis. As a matter of fact, my feelings are rather mixed about you at the moment.
Oh? Well, I'm not really sure that I want to hear them.
If it has anything to do with the child custody, I do want to hear.
Louis, I came here first to thank you for your concern about my little girl's future. Elena told me about your plans to set aside a trust for Maggie.
Sandy, it is my fondest wish that I should be able to leave this small fortune to Maggie. You see, most of my life I have spent grabbing and clutching and trying to hold on to life. And now, it is my great pleasure to be able to do this for my granddaughter.
Well, I'm certainly grateful that you've chosen Elena to administer the trust. In case, well, if you should have to...
No, please, you can say it in case I should have to go to jail, right? No, with Reuben by my side, I hope that will not happen. So don't be worried about me. And Maggie will certainly be provided for.
Well, that's just it, Louis. I am worried. And the sooner we clear the air, the better.
Aha, so it does have to do with the child custody, huh?
Well, it has to do with the money that goes along with the custody of Maggie. Louis, I want you to know that if and when I get custody of Maggie, I plan to raise her on the money I make, not on the interest from her estate. I don't think I should raise her on her own fortune. When she grows up, I want her to respect us, and I'm not sure that she will if I take that money. I don't think it's the proper way to raise a child.
Why are you coming here to tell me this?
So that you can make other arrangements for the money when I get custody. I have one other thing to tell you, Louis. Let me thank you again for providing for Maggie's future when she turns 21. It won't be easy, but I hope to raise her in such a way that she'll be able to cope with her fortune. I know that Blaine and I can cope with it. That's all I have to say, Louis. Good day, Mr. Marino.
Tell me, do you think he will use that ploy in the courtroom?
Of course. There is no question about it.
It's wonderful.
Isn't it?
It's wonderful. Here you go.
Thank you, Jim. Jamie, I hope you don't mind if we have a drink here first before we go down to the dining room for dinner.
Oh, not at all. I mean, it will give us a chance to, to get to know each other a little better.
Yes, good. No, Jamie. Come, sit with me. We writers, we have to stick together.
Thank you, Gil.
And ginger ale for the lady?
Oh, thank you.
Gil, I don't think that I'll be needing you for the rest of the evening, so you can take the rest of the night off.
Thank you, Miss Gallant. Enjoy your dinner.
Well, now, I would like to propose a toast.
Yes.
To works in progress, in particular, to your next novel, Jamie.
Oh, thank you.
I must tell you, from the moment that Julia brought me your book, I had a terrible time putting it down.
Well, I'm flattered that you liked it.
Oh, I did. Very much. Especially the opening chapters. It was riveting. Simply riveting.
Well, what about the other chapters?
Well, unfortunately, I had to force myself to put it down after the first brilliant 10 pages. But I did skim it thoroughly after that.
Good.
Miss Gallant is an excellent skimmer.
Yes, I'm sure she is.
Now, I may have read it quickly, but carefully. And I did find a delightfully sexy scene on page 315.
You remember the page number?
Oh, I remember everything, darling, vividly. Now, my sole complaint is this. I found the characters to be so ashamed of making love. I mean, they spoiled it before they even got to it.
Got to it?
Yes.
Well, yes, but those two particular characters...
No, Jamie. Now listen, dear.
Yes.
You see, you must have them experienced a few seconds of delight, and then you can make them miserable. You see, otherwise, why do you have them in bed in the first place?
Well, as I was trying to tell you, those those two particular characters, they didn't know they were going to feel so guilty when they went to bed.
Darling. They felt guilty from the moment they said hello.
They did?
Yes. Now, Jamie, I know that you are a serious novelist, and I am only a writer of entertainment. But I can teach you a thing or two. And one of those things would be to give your readers a little break now and then, some pleasure.
I think you're right.
Oh, darling, of course I'm right.
Well?
Oh, the kids are fine. RJ's watching television and Mary Sue is doing her homework.
Well, good. Now that they have survived one dinner without you, why don't you take off your coat and stay a while?
Oh, Roy, it was so sweet of you to take me out. It was so nice to have somebody else cook for me for a change, and I really did appreciate all that special attention.
Well, my dear, you deserved every bit of it, and more.
Well, thank you. Sorry I can't offer you a drink. We don't have anything like that nice brandy we had at the restaurant.
And rather, I don't need any brandy. I just like to sit with you for a little while. Unless you're too tired and want to call it a night.
No, I'd like to sit for a minute, too.
I guess it's written all over me.
What is?
Come on now. Candles weren't that dim in that restaurant. I mean, my feelings about you.
What feelings?
Feelings. You know, feelings like falling in love feelings.
Oh,
Oh, now, I don't mean to embarrass you.
no.
And don't tell me you're surprised.
Well, to tell you the truth, Roy, I've had so many things on my mind the last 2 months. I guess I really haven't been very observant.
All right, that's a legitimate excuse, I'll have to admit that. And I suppose I could have been a little more open about my feelings. But I will tell you this. Every time I have left you, whether from here or from the bakery, wherever, I always find myself whistling.
Whistling?
Whistling. It's a dead giveaway.
Well, when you leave tonight, I'm going to stand by the door an extra minute and see whether you do or not.
Oh, you can't miss it. It'll be one of those sentimental old love songs. The kind that don't play anymore, and the kind you never forget.
Oh, Roy. I want you to know that I hear you. But I have to be honest with you. Ever since things broke up between Quinn's brother Ed and me, well, I've had a lot of trouble in my life. And I really haven't been able to think about anything besides my family and my business.
And I can understand that. But when things start getting back to normal with your family and your business, you think you might be able to think about me a little?
It's possible.
Good.
But I do know one thing. That it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of thinking before I let another man in my life.
Fair enough. I mean, as long as you didn't say, don't darken my door again, I guess that's hope, right?
No, no. I don't want you to.
I have to.
Okay.
Oh,
Here, let me help you.
oh thanks.
No.
Some help you are.
You have to admit, though,
What?
I was terribly, terribly clever about tonight.
Oh, terribly.
I mean, here I was dutifully playing with my daughter. And who should call but Brian Bancroft?
Good old Brian.
Good old Brian. And since he was nice enough to ask Elaine out to the movies, I thought I'd be nice enough to volunteer to stay with Maggie and let the nurse have the night off.
You're all heart.
I am. I really am, it's true, but I don't know, just you and I seem to know that.
You know, when I was 15, I knew a girl who used to babysit. She didn't need the money. She just did it because it was the most convenient way for she and I to get together
Right.
alone. And then the parents came home one night.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean?
I do. But listen, you don't have anything to worry about. I know exactly what time Elena's movie gets out and when she'll be home, and, we have a little while longer.
Seal,
What?
I'm not 15 anymore. Stolen kisses in your mother's house are one thing, but I much prefer longer, more satisfying evenings. Like the one we had last night.
Well, so do I, Cass. But we just have to be patient, that's all. Listen, Louie's going back to Washington very soon. And that means we'll have the penthouse all to ourselves again.
You'd like that too?
I'd love that. You know, I think you and I could be very, very good for each other.
I think we are very good for each other.
And before too long, we're going to go away together. And we are going to have such a good time spending all that wonderful money and enjoying ourselves.
Well, we'll talk about all that, of course.
Well, of course we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all the details. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We have a lot of talking to do.
Cecile, I really don't think it's a good idea for Elena and Brian to find me here.
Okay. I know you're right. Oh, Cass. It's just that I'm so lonely. And sometimes I feel a little scared, too. That you're gonna leave me. I don't want that to happen. Don't ever leave me. Okay? Don't ever leave me.
Stay tuned for the conclusion of Another World.
I cannot tell you how good I felt talking to Louis today. You know, when I finally told him and that lawyer of his that I didn't want any of the money for Maggie's estate, well, I felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders.
I'm so glad you told him.
I'm so glad you talked me into it. And grateful, too.
How did, Louis and his attorney react to the news?
Well, I don't know. They were kind of like two men who'd seen a little too much of the world and didn't believe there was much of anything good left. I'm willing to bet that they thought it was just a ploy on my part in order to gain custody of Maggie.
Well, if that's what they thought, why don't you get Stacy to drop some papers that binds us to what you said, and we can give the papers to Elena. She can keep it right with the estate, right? That way they'll know that you meant it.
You know, honey, that's not a bad idea. As a matter of fact, I had the same idea myself on the drive over here. Stacy's working on it right now. Have I told you how much I love you tonight?
You've told me several times. But you can keep telling me because I love to hear it.
Well, I love you. And I need you. And I never want to let you go.
I enjoyed every minute of being with my little Maggie.
Yes, I think you do, because you have some sort of a glow about you.
A glow?
Yes.
Do I really? Oh, my goodness, a glow. Listen, I'm sorry that you had to go through that unpleasant encounter with Sandy. I just can't believe that he came over here to tell you, face to face, that he didn't want to have anything to do with the interest on Maggie's trust. I mean, it's just another of his obvious tactics to gain custody.
Yes. I'm afraid Mr. Moreno agrees with you.
Well, there you go. I mean, if Reuben can see right through it, then you know it's just a ploy.
Yes, well, I'm glad you respect his opinion. Another one of his ideas is our going to Washington again.
Yes, you told me that you'd have to be going to Washington to see the authorities at the French embassy, right?
Yes, but what I didn't tell you is that he wants you and Felicia to join us.
Felicia? Are you serious?
Yes. Yes, I think it is time that my daughter and my wife met.
Louis, she may be your wife, but she means less than nothing to me. I hope I never have to meet her. She is after your money, Louis. That's all she wants. And frankly, I find that despicable.
Yes, you are right. Despicable.
This part of Another World was brought to you by Ivory Liquid, the mild dishwashing liquid with rich, soft suds to gentle your hands. Ivory Liquid helps hands look young. Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Another World.